Let's create a very simple report in WebFOCUS. We're going to use this one to build a designer page that populates values out of a more custom type of procedure, not going down the route of creating a very basic thing. So it's going to be a more advanced type of capability in here to populate a filter. So let's build my little report in here. So we can go for discount. And we're going to go on the product level. We're going to go for something like the product name. So we're going to put product name onto the report. Actually, we're going to rotate it. We only want to see that one sorted ascending based on the discount. And we want to see only the top 10. So I've got a top 10 ranking in here. So actually, I want to filter on the product, but I don't want to filter on the product name. I want to filter on the product ID. So let's actually save that one as my simple little report. So save it. So that's my content folder. That's my simple little report. So now I want to build a designer page for that one. So we're going to go to Assemble Visualization. So I'm going to do a blank one, a very simple page as well. So let's go for my simple little report, put it onto my page, resize it to be max. So we're going to add my filter to the page. So running that one, I can now build a report. So just run it in your window. So actually works, but doesn't look too nice. So I want to be able to change that ID filter to still filter on the ID, but display the text in there. So, and we're gonna go for it. So actually, let's go for it. So we're gonna go for this filter in here. So in this filter section, so I selected the filter. Sometimes it's easiest to go to outline first, select the filter from here. And now I can define the source for that filter. So multiple things in here. So I could go on that little pen icon here. We can go for dynamic. And I can select a data source, which is a master file. So select that one. We're going to go to my retail folder. So it's going to go to retail samples. I'm going to go to dimension. And I'm going to populate that box not from the full master file. I'm going to take only the product table. So I'm going to go for that product table, select that one. And I can now tell it, hey, I want to see the ID of the product. And I want to see the product name as a display value. So we can go for the product name. So if you don't find it here, so just type something. There's product name. I want to be sorted, but I want to sort it by the display value, not by the ID. Click OK. And now we got a populated list in here that uses the ID as a filter, but still displays those values. So actually, that's quite a nice one. So I can select Galaxy tab in here. So select a few of them, run my report. So cool, we got the element working. But actually, there's one thing I don't like. So sometimes there are users that also know the product ID better than the product name, but I don't see the product ID anymore. So how to solve that one? I can build a custom version of that thing in here. To do so, I can define the logic that populates my box here on my own. To do so, I'm going to go back to Hub, and I'm going to create a new report in here. So I'm going to go for Create Visualization. So we use Designer to build our own custom list in here. So we're going to go for retail samples. We're going to go for our dimensions. We're going to go for the same table, actually. So we're going to go for the retail product. I'm going to go, of course, for a table. And in here, I want to see my product ID. I want to see my product name. So actually product ID shouldn't be aggregated. So let's move it back in here. So, and there we're going to see one thing. Hey, Galaxy tab exists twice with the same name, but two different IDs. Kind of risky the way we did the filter. That the reason is because we also have a model in here. So those elements are going to have a different model as well. So, okay. So we might want to go the route to create a new derived field. So actually, let's go for product name. And in here, we actually, yeah, actually, let's go for the product name here. And in here, we could change formatting, change all those kinds of elements. Or actually, we could also easily create a new derived field. So we're going to add a new derived field in here. So actually, that derived field that I want to build is, I can do it after aggregation to save some processing time on the database. So it's my new name. Let's call it product name long or whatever in the as a visible element. So it's going to be product name. And I'm going to add something in here. So I'm going to add a function. So in here, I could go to a certain type of function here. So I can select the function that I like best from those list of elements. So I want to add the ID in here. So to convert that one, actually, let's add something first. So let me add a dash and a opening bracket, and then we're gonna add the ID. So to get it into a text, we're gonna use the digits function first. So as you see, digit is gonna convert a numeric element into a string. So let's add digits, and we're gonna use the product ID as an input, and actually the output of that field is going to be a 9-digit thing. So let's go for the 9. So that's what we need. So then let's close the bracket. So, okay, got what we need. So there's our combined field. So now let's get rid of the product name. Again, in here, I can determine how to sort. So the sorting of that element of that list is important because it's going to be the sorting of the filter control later on. So if I use it to sort it by ID, it's going to be sorted by the ID or by the product name. I like that one here, but actually I want to hide the product name. I don't need that one, so I just need ID and that long thing. Important in here, we have to change the output format to be XML. So now that I have XML, we can test and run it. So it's going to get us some quite technical content in here. So nothing I want to use with as a report, but that's exactly what we're going to need for the report. Let me close a few windows in here. So I got a few windows open that I don't need anymore. So, okay, there's my XML. So let's save that one. I'm gonna rename that one to be my filter. Save it actually. So now we can go back to our page. So those are the elements. So I think we got quite too much things open at the same time. So there's my filter. So I'm picking the filter again, and now we're going to change it. So instead of using that retail product source, we're going to click on the pen again. We're also going to go for something like the dynamic information, but now we're going to change it to from procedure. We're going to select a data source in here, but now that data source is going to be a report, which we called my filter. So we're going to pick my filter again. Now we're going to see those specific fields. So actually, I want to use the ID for the product. I want to use, so ID product is something in here. Actually, one thing I wonder, I got all those elements multiple times. So let me fix that one first. Why are we getting them so many times? Let's cancel for now and go back to my filter. The reason why we get them multiple times is actually quite simple, quite straightforward. To get that one fixed, let's do one more change to my little filter report pane here. So to change that one in here, there's a new little feature in here that allows me to do some settings. So in here, I got a bunch of elements, so I only want that specific XML to contain what we need. So I can go to that hold list setting here and set it to print only, which means it's only going to contain visible fields in that XML document. So keep it, save it. Now we're going to go back to Designer, and we're going to go back to that pen here. We're going to go for procedure. We're going to click on that element in here. We're going to go and get my filter. I'm going to select it from here. And now we only have those two elements. So we select new name, ID. There's no change of sorting because the sorting in our procedure, in our little report, it determines the sort order already. So click on OK. And now we got what we wanted. We got the combined elements in here. And now we see those two Galaxy tabs, which I can select separately. But the report, of course, is on product name. So we're only going to get that single element. So easy to work with, easy to navigate, easy to do. Select whatever you want from here. And I got my custom value. Last option to change those filter boxes, instead of having dynamic information, would be the option to go for the filter source, click on the pen. You could also go for static values, which is kind of okay, but nothing for those type of elements. So you would rather use it for a very specific use case. So going back to the page actually. In here, for example, if you want to go for something like the output format, that would be rather something that you want to define with a manual list. But those are the ways to define and those boxes within a filter page. Thank you for watching.